Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Five years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, two teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Loren Michaels-Harris, and I'm here today with a burning question just for you. Be honest, have you spent hundreds of dollars trying to get your message on the stages? Perhaps you've paid for coaching that took you absolutely nowhere. Well, guess what? We're going to change all that. If you answered yes, I'm here to help you. Back when I first started, it took just one short year, and I was able to write the book on how to get paid for your message. Now, I'm taking it one step further. After hundreds of paid speaking engagements, that's right, hundreds, I'm here to show you how you can do the same thing. Interested? So listen, if you're ready, I mean truly ready, to change the world through your story, then do yourself and the world a favor. Sign up for this 90-minute webinar. I promise you, you will not regret it. It's going to change your life.
soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Good morning. I feel like singing this morning. I do. Oh, back in the day when I was young and oh my God, I just got triggered. I really did, in a great way. See, it was. Let me tell you something. It's never about just one thing. Sometimes we hear the word trigger, we run for the hills. No, you got to take care of that today. You know how you would later on in life when something would trigger you and take you back to a moment like that just did for me? Guess how that happens? You plant that seed. Right now, you're manifesting for the you 30 years from now. The you of right now, a lot of you was manifested by that kid. You know, the one who took all that bullying and all that other stuff that didn't feel so good then. But boy, look where it led you today. There it is. There's a little nugget for you. Let's get the day started. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. It is the Wednesday edition, hump day, middle of the week, and it's been a long one because, you know, I was gone last week for a day, Sunday, one day, Albany, New York, speaking, and leave tomorrow for one of my favorite gigs. It's an annual thing. I hit it every year. They call me back. I just love it. And thank you, Brenda Ringwood and Terrence Leffords and all of the BTYB family down in Kansas City, Missouri. We're headed there tomorrow, you guys. And boy, let me say, I think we have something. Don't we? Don't we have something? We better. That's part of the deal. Yeah, there we go. Meet me in Kansas City, not St. Louis, but Kansas City. We are going there for the Becoming the Better, Best You Possible. You are, we are, works in progress. That's this year's theme. So if you're in the Kansas City area, join us. It's going to be going on the 13th and the 14th. I leave tomorrow and I'll come back Sunday. Love the family. Love it. So there it is. That's the bell of purpose. I ring it all through the broadcast today, every day. Because it's a reminder, it's an opportunity. It's not just some show gimmick, a prop, because the bell has something in common with the truth. They both have a ring to it. Okay, so when you hear that, that means there's something that will never change on you. Here's something that will never change, period. Come and get it. Okay, there it is. That's the bell of purpose. And finally, before I get our guest in here, welcome my sidekick. She's my version of Ed McMahon, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, here every day for 8 years. So, what are we talking about today, and who are we talking about it with? Well, first of all, let's get to the who. My guest today is a young lady. Her name is Rayna Rokicki. I don't know why I always want to say, make it sound all exotic. When I say it, I should just be grateful if I can get it right, you know. But she's a wonderful person. I just have really fallen in love with her work and her great personality just from the pre-show conversations we had. Now, she's a podcast growth coach. Right? For all of you podcasters out there, and I think some of you who love to get your information, your content via podcasts are going to pick up some ideas today. And who knows, is there a podcast or potential podcaster living inside all of us? We're going to find that out. So anyway, she is just dedicated and specializing in helping entrepreneurs to skyrocket their businesses through podcasting. Duh, that's what I just told you. And she works with entrepreneurs in order to establish themselves as industry experts. Okay. And how to monetize their shows. That's another thing she will help you do without relying on sponsors. For real? Say what? Okay. And she says proudly that her expertise lies in crafting podcast strategies that not only attract eager clients, but also open doors to coveted speaking opportunities. Did you say speaking opportunities? That is worthy right there of, wait for it. I'm going to leave that running because Everybody ought to celebrate this. Here she comes, you guys. Put some hearts on the screen. It's our way of saying welcome as we bring in Miss Rayna. Oh my God, it's a party for you. Hi.
I'm all about it.
I know you are. How are you?
I am great. Dr. Loren, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm doing really good for a Wednesday. No complaints here.
You look really happy.
Yeah, I think it's funny you bring that up because I've been feeling extra super happy lately. Not that I'm not normally a happy person.
Yeah, but it's got this extra layer to it.
Exactly. I just feel like things are starting to fall into place, and I've been really good about practicing gratitude and kind of like appreciating little gains every day. And I feel like that practice has really, I don't know, been a game changer for me.
Really? Okay. ADHD at work. Okay, I was going to say, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Okay, so I do this thing where I dip out for about 30 to 60 seconds, and that gives the guest a chance to just speak to the audience and kind of start your own vibe in here, and then pour from your heart. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor for us all to have each other, to be able to offer some form of healing or to pour into the easing of any kind of suffering, that's in someone's life. And that could be something as easy as you're going to show them today. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll come back in when I feel you have done what you need to do, and then we'll get officially started. Sound okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. It's all you. Take it away, Rayna.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Rayna Rokicki. I am a podcast growth coach. And like Dr. Loren mentioned, I really specialize in working with entrepreneurs to help them grow their business with a podcast. And it's the whole idea that if you are a coach, consultant, a speaker, you can not only use your podcast to bring you clients, but also to make money, to grow your business. It's entirely possible. And you don't need to have a large audience for this. Before I even dive into all that podcasting stuff, though, I kind of wanted to pick off on where we started off in the interview, talking about small wins and appreciating the gains you've made. I read a really incredible book earlier this year. It's called The Gap and the Gain, and it's by, I think, Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And it's for entrepreneurs, but I really feel like anybody could apply this to their life. And it's all about appreciating and realizing the growth that you have every day. So every day you're thinking about, where do I want to be in the future? And each day you're making small little micro movements to get there. And often in our life, we have this idealized version of where we want to be in the future. And it's way far in the horizon, right? And often humans, we get kind of stuck on this idealized version, and we're like, oh, we're not there yet. Like, I still don't have the job I love, or the family, or I don't have a great significant other. And you're in the gap. That's the gap, when you're like, you're not realizing that ideal. But at the same time, instead of looking at this horizon that keeps escaping you, appreciate the little tiny wins you have each day. What are the gains you're making? And when you start to do that, it's a game changer, because you can take where you are right now in this moment and then look 3 months back and say, yeah, I might not be at that idealized version, but holy cow, I am so much further. I know so much more. I've gained these skills. I've gained these friendships.
Sure.
And I don't know, that mindset's really, really helped in a lot of things. It's helped me as an entrepreneur to appreciate the wins.
Yeah. Listen, you know why? You know why?
Why? Yeah.
Here's why. It's so simple. Because first of all, Dr. Loren sees things in images. Always have. It really, seriously, the universe works with me like they taught me through the if they made my life how we work, how I see things as a book, it would be one of those something for dummies books. Those yellow, white, and black. Yeah, because it's just so plain and easy. A 5-year-old could do it. So what I'm getting at is this, Rayna. What you just described, let me ring the bell so you guys know what's coming. Okay, here it is. What is consistency. When you practice, it is so that you are consistent. So that it becomes a ritual, not a routine, a ritual. Because a ritual has a sacredness to it. You see what I mean? A routine is humdrum, and sometimes can be like, oh, pain in my ass. You see what I'm saying? But when it's a ritual, and what that does is it creates a universal metronome, so that you don't have a Morse code existence. because you pick it up and you lay it down. You pick it up. You can't have a shared custody agreement with unbridled joy. You can't have a shared custody agreement, a part-time job with legend, in healing. It is all day, every day.
Yes.
Yes. So there it is. So see, thank you for pouring it in and saying, consistency. It is the key. That's the infinity. Just put the things you love on loop.
Yes.
On replay. And then when it's like an album and it gets stuck and it plays over, there's a scratch, buff that bitch out.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, I'm so excited. So let me start here with you, because get ready. I know you've been on a lot of interviews, but I'm guaranteeing you're gonna get some questions you never got before.
Okay. Sounds
I'm naturally nosy, right? And I love getting to the Tootsie Roll center, the thing with that they had to have a hard shell around it. You had to fight to get to it. So let's get there, because you got some gold for us. First of all, what is it that makes so many people want or think or need or feel or desire their place within a podcast?
Yeah, great question. I mean, podcasting, the magic of podcasting, I think, is because it's such an intimate platform. It's audio, right? So usually when people are listening to podcasts, they either have an earbud in and maybe they're going for a walk or running errands or doing stuff around the house. But you are in the ear of that person and you have their attention. And like you were talking about ritual, because most podcasts come out weekly, you are like a ritual, a part of their life. You show up every Wednesday for them and they're excited to have you in their ear. They're excited to learn from you. They're excited to take their wisdom. So, and I think everybody has such a unique story, a unique take. There's space for everyone. Although I would say podcasting is not even that saturated.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. And here's why.
Oh my God. I had written that, that's interesting. Because thank you for that.
Yeah.
I had written down, look, China. Because I said, if I'm looking at like a drone's view of what I think podcasting looks like, it would look like when they show how crowded it is in China.
Okay, well, here's why I don't think it's saturated.
Yay. That's good news.
Yeah, it's good news. So according to the Podcast Business Journal, this summer, there are 4 million podcasts that are out there, right? And that right there, you're like, whoa, that's a big number. Like, Rayna, what are you talking about? How is it not saturated? However, of those 4 million podcasts, the number that are still creating new content or have created content in the last 30 days is only 10%. So that's 324,000. So most of those podcasts have started and stopped, but only 10%, only 324,000 continue to make good content, to continue to grow their audience. And that's magic. I mean, when you compare that to the number of YouTube channels out there, everything else,
how do people know who those ones are that are making consistent content?
Yeah, they'll be the ones, I mean, that have new episodes coming up that are going to be promoted, that are going to keep coming up in your feed. The other podcasts do exist and they're still out there, but as they stop creating new content, they're just going to, they won't get shelved, I would say, but they're just not going to get promoted as much because there's nothing new. That content could still stay evergreen, but the new stuff that keeps going is going to keep attracting listeners and it's going to keep doing that magic for you. So do you have a background yourself in podcasting? Yeah, great question. So I actually pivoted into podcasting during the pandemic. And it's a long story. I'll make it short, but I went to school for communications and anthropology. And then I actually was a teacher for many years. I taught overseas at American International Schools in Nigeria and Myanmar. Great, super fun. Came back during COVID. And although I love teaching, I was ready for something new. My daughter was 4 and my son was in elementary school and there was no daycare. So I'm like,
you have kids that are what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How old are your kids real quick?
My kids are 11 and 8. Yeah.
You look so young.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm actually 45. So I don't know.
You look great.
Yeah. Thank
you.
So
you're happy. See, there it is. There's another one, y'all. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So anyway, I had done I had a background in communications. I used to do some documentary work. And then I did a lot of video projects with my students. And then I was like, you know what? I want to get into this podcast world. I first started working for a productivity coach, and she had a podcast and YouTube channel. And I was like, I love this. This is so fun. Then I took a bunch of classes, worked for a podcast company for a while. And then I started my own thing. My own company is called Ladies First Digital Media. And again, it's all about helping women be seen and heard in the digital space. And that's where I started producing podcasts and YouTube channels. And now I kind of pivoted into the coaching space because really, I feel like over the last year, I've had a lot of people come to me who just want a coach to help guide them in launching a podcast, or they have a podcast, they're not seeing the growth, they're not able to monetize. And they're like, I need someone to help me with these strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I'm here. That's how I got here.
That's awesome. So when you've been specialized in this lane.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, swimming around like an Olympian. Seriously. Let's go here.
Okay.
Here's something. Get ready. I bet y'all didn't know this because I didn't. Well, that doesn't mean you didn't know it, but I was shy. I'm just saying because I'm just naturally nosy. But I had no idea that there are people. My friend Sean Douglas did it. He sold his podcast.
Yeah.
For a lot of money.
Yes, totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If
you see, my mouth is still hanging open, and that was like 2 years ago he sold it. I'm like, how do you know about this?
A little bit. I work more on the smaller audience side, but if you have a huge following, you're one of the major, I would say top 50 podcasts in your genre, like a business podcast or a health podcast, things like that. Yeah, there are networks that want to gobble you up, that want you to buy your show. Mm-hmm.
So that's why that came up. I knew it was going to lead you to what we need to talk about next. So there it is.
Yep.
Niche.
Yes.
Yeah, because his niche was a military
podcast.
Yeah. He was on the Air Force radio for a while, then used his presence there to bring him over to his podcast. And then when he got out of the military and moved on, he created this entity, this property that someone was interested, that was still in. So it must have some intricate benefit while you're in the military that it doesn't have when you're out or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So I just thought that was so brilliant. So, okay. So talk about niche. When people come to you, do you have categories? Like, okay, overused there. Do you know how many people are, it sounds just like 50 others, or how do you respond when you hear a niche, one that really gets you excited?
Yeah. Well, then I love designing podcasts so listeners can find you. I feel like that actually is the biggest hurdle podcasters have, because a lot of people, when they want to start a podcast, they want to come up with some sort of snazzy name, some sort of fun name. Maybe it's based on their branding, their book. Mm-hmm. However, that is not going to bring you listeners, because unless someone already knows you, they're not going to be able to find your show. So what I always tell people I work with, and even people I have a podcast called Podcast Growth Club. I give strategies and tips. I tell them, so if your ideal listener is on Apple, iTunes, on Spotify, what would they search for to find your show? Again, if you have the snazzy name, they're never going to find you. So you have to be actually pretty obvious, but also specific with keywords in the title of your show. Maybe even consider an extension of your title to say, who is it for? Like, do you want to work with midlife moms? Do you want to work with retired military veterans?
Give us an example of a show, of a podcast title or name that lives up to what you're describing.
Yeah. Okay, great question or great point. So for example, I have my other podcast is called You Betcha She Did. And it's all about cool Midwest women. Very snazzy name, right? Super fun. But no, I guarantee no one is going on Apple Podcasts and searching for You Betcha She Did, unless they know me, right?
Right. Who's going to guess that configuration?
Yeah, no one is looking for it. And so what I did, and I learned this from a great podcast mentor of mine, I added a title extension. So my show is still called You Betcha She Did, but then it says business tips for women entrepreneurs, coaches, and rad women. And because I put business tips in there and women entrepreneurs and coaches, my download numbers have gone up. Like, I would say probably
now you fall into a search.
Exactly. People can find me who don't know me. Mm-hmm.
So that's really like a tagline.
Yes. Yep.
Like a tagline. Yeah. You got okay. Great. Folders. Good to the last drop. Yeah. Every kiss begins with K.
Exactly.
GE, we bring good things to light. all famous and very memorable taglines.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So there's a nugget right there. So now let's go to what would you say is a good place for a person who would like to do what you coach people on? Maybe coming to you for coaching would be the answer. We'll find out here in a second. To be able to start and understand the process as you build upon it, because it's formulaic. It's like in math. If you missed Tuesday and Thursday, you weren't going to be ready to take the test on Friday because you don't have the missing pieces that plug into the days you were there. So talk about that if you can. When people come, how ready do they have to be in their mind to hear the cheddar cheese or the Swiss cheese, not cheddar. I must be hungry. The Swiss cheese, because you almost have to look for the Swiss cheese where the holes are.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, by the time people are ready to work with me, they've been frustrated. They've had a podcast for maybe a year or two and they just haven't been seeing any growth, right? Or like they want to monetize and they haven't been able to monetize. And they're like, what am I doing? I know I'm producing great content. I know I'm giving value. So it's actually not too hard on my part because they are ready. They're ready to like dive in and figure out, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to put in place so people can love me and want to work with me? That kind of thing. So it's not too hard, but I often have to ask clients though to consider, do you have a podcasting hobby or is it a podcasting business? Like, are you trying to use your podcast, to grow your business?
Oh, she got a bell. Ring that bell then, Rayna. Ring the bell, Rayna. Oh, that was a mic drop moment right there, by the way.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
Put that in your arsenal. Yeah, deliver that one from mid-stage when you're doing those keynotes. Drop that one in while you're in the middle of the stage. Right. Now, so monetize. Paint the picture. Sketch it out for us, because some people don't. They just think it's like a check. Yeah.
Yeah, so the misconception I find in the podcasting world is when people start a podcast, they want to become super famous, Joe Rogan style, millions of downloads, and they want to have sponsors. And that's great. But the reality is that most of us will never reach that stage, and that's okay. You can definitely monetize a podcast without being famous, without having millions of downloads. I work specifically with entrepreneurs who want to grow their business with a podcast. So again, they're podcasting for business.
Okay.
And what I do is we use expert positioning. We use social media strategy. We use organic discoverability to bring new listeners so that people start to love them and follow them. And I would say you only really need 500 really strong fans, super fans, for a podcast that's really niche. If you're a coach, a speaker, an author, and all of a sudden people are coming to you because they want to work with you and you can create a meaningful income. So, and to give you another example, like in the podcasting world, for every 1,000 downloads for sponsorship, you get on average about $15. So only 20% of podcasters are getting over 1,000 downloads per episode after 30 days. So 80% of podcasters will never even reach that number. And even if you're in that top 20% that gets over 1,000 downloads, let's say you get 4,000 downloads a month, how much are you going to make a month for advertising? $60. $60 is like, it's nothing. It's not a big, I don't want to advertise mushroom coffee or mattresses for $60 a month, but I do want to use my podcast to grow my business, to, position myself as an expert, to have people want to work with me. And you can make so much more money, meaningful income.
You made me snort.
It's okay.
That's good. That's what I get for trying to contain my laughter. Let it out. That's another thing. When you feel like laugh.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Do it. Shit. Go ahead. I just got to say this about you. Your energy is infectious.
Oh, thank you.
You'd be a great agent, manager, guide, coach, all these things. Yeah. Your energy is just over, and I don't want to say over the top. It is just over extending. It just goes everywhere. It's really powerful, Rayna, for real. Yeah, that's one of your superpowers. Loren. I just wanted to tell you that. That's one of your superpowers. I was in that other configuration where you had the big box and I had the little one, and your energy made me change it to this one because I wanted to be right there.
Yeah.
That's a real anointing. So take that with you. It's true. Sorry. Just, hey, when they come, they come. So let's go about this. Patience. How important is patience if you're really trying to be successful, and make it a two-parter? Okay. Patience tied into knowing what pain you're relieving, or what suffering you're easing, or what is your antidote. See, a lot of people I know that will come to me for speaking, keynoting. That's what they come to me for. That's what they think they come to me for anyway, originally. And it goes into all kinds of things. Because everything is a stage. Everything is a stage. So anyway, but let's just say they come and they, like your people that have podcasts, like you said, the hobby, that's a difference. Now, some things like this is to be a calling, kind of, because content, that's a huge responsibility, because you're inside someone's mind. You have access, literal access to how people think, and you shape and form their opinions.
Yeah.
And their perspectives. So let's talk about that. Is there, when you coach people, do you address that? And like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If you can see something that's going to go off the rails, because, I don't know if you want to keep that. Do you have that responsibility in there? And how do you deal with it?
Yeah. Definitely you have to guide the ship, so to speak. I like to talk to my clients too about how podcasting, I mean, it is a long game. You're going to be doing it for a couple of years. It's not something where you're going to put out 4 episodes and become instantly famous. It's a long game, but if you are already producing content for your business, which you should be if you're going to be marketing, it makes sense to do it in this way, because you can repurpose it and you can be very strategic. So a lot of times I sit down with clients and we talk about strategy, like really being thoughtful and intentional with the episodes, and what are you trying to get across, and know your audience. I mean, that's the biggest part. Like, what are their pain points? What are you trying to help them solve? So part of that is just really listening to your audience, looking at your analytics. What are those episodes that are the top ones? But you gotta dig in to everything, and every person's different. I mean, as you know, everyone, you got to approach slightly different based on their personality and their needs and where they're at in their journey.
Yeah. You were supposed to be up there. Oh, there you are. Oh, let's get you up there on that screen back there so you can be on TV back there too. There you are. There you are back there again. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. See, I have new desk, and I just put that remote where it used to be on the old desk, which now just almost landed it on the floor.
Oh, geez.
It's a new, right. I didn't even look. That's wow. You look great. So let's go to this, and I'm phrasing this and framing it for the benefit of everybody. So I'm not going to. So here we go. Take us to investment. What does that look like from the front end? What it morphs into? Because that's a piece a lot of them don't look at from the beginning, because it does take. So it's, instead of me saying, so what's it cost? It's not about the cost. It's about the investment, because that language ties into what you just said. Long game.
Yep.
So what I mean, you see what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
So talk about the investment, if you could. Take us, what do you know?
Yeah. I mean, again, this comes back to the idea of, do you have a podcasting hobby or a podcasting business? If you're serious about growing your business, you have to invest in it, and you have to invest in a coach or a very strategic producer who knows how to play the game, like who've been in the industry. They see what works, what doesn't work. For myself, I don't actually think it's that high of an investment, but I have like a 1-month program where we work together, and it's $1,000, and I audit your podcast. I give you some basic strategies. We can do a 3-month deep dive. That's $3,000, but you get access to me for 3 months. We meet intentionally. We're going to start
playing with y'all. Right. Look, look. Let's just get to it. I ain't scared to throw them digits out there, because it ain't about your credit card. It's about the value of this experience.
Exactly.
See? Right. Okay. Then got another bell ringer. Go for the record then. The record's 5. Go for the record.
Okay, I'm on. I love a competition.
I'm excited, but I had a download about you, and I can't believe I'm getting ready to do this. Usually I'll wait and say it backstage to you, but I'm going to say I got a download. Guess where you're headed?
I don't know.
You're headed to television, just like where I'm at right now. You are, because I saw it. I saw the television show where podcasters come and all kinds. The ones who I messed it up. Look what I've done. Oh, I got it right in the middle of I love it. The hurricane, all these things, right? And they can go to learn how to get started, how to do this, and what it's going to do for your coach. Oh, see it?
I see it. I'm starting to see it.
I know it. I know. We'll talk afterwards now.
Okay.
But I put that in front of there. You know why? Because the day's going to come where she's going to come back on this show again, or I might go on hers. But this clip of today, what just happened, is going to be replayed. I want you to think ahead to when that happens. Will you still be on the fence? Or will you have taken this information today and contacted Rayna or myself or someone like either one of or both of us and started your journey of sharing your story? So let me ask you something about this. Talk about the different shades of content. Are there sometimes topics that you're shocked that people are so interested in that a podcast can be sustainable around this conversation? And go there, kind of. Is it a conversation? Which ones do better? You know, what kind of podcasts are people sinking their teeth into nowadays? What are they looking for?
Yeah. Well, that's a big, broad question. So
yeah, just give us anything.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. But I find the episodes that really do the best are the ones that are helping you solve a problem.
See?
Like they're really specific, good action points. And it's not, not necessarily interviews, things like that, but like, this is a pain point. I want a solution. This person gave great advice. Like those continue to be downloaded again and again and again.
Okay, there it is. She just got her third ring because guess what? She's like, I'm going to go for it. She thought it was a big old broad question. No, it isn't. Let me tell you something. There is a dart for truth, a truth dart for everything that is the truth. So it doesn't matter how broad the subject is because you got right to it. You got right to it. You said solve a problem. Then we start this with easing suffering. So now, if you think about it, what do you do that eases suffering? You're that person that everybody comes to, just like a bartender. They pour all their stuff out. That means you're an empath. That means that you know how to hold space. This and the other. You are a good listener. All these things. It's the difference between hearing and listening. So finding that, and this all ties back to what Rayna said earlier about niche.
Yep.
This and the other, and how it's not about what you think it looks like. It may look like in the Empire State Building from the outside, but when they come and talk to you, you can make it look like a little camping tent because it's really not as daunting as one might believe. What are the three biggest fears you see in people about getting started?
People have a fear of putting themselves out there. Like it's a new space. They're afraid of being judged, very human quality. Another fear is that no one is going to like their show. Like they're going to have no followers. It's not going to work, even though they have great ideas and great content. And then the last biggest fear I would say is that they worry about waste. They want that immediate gratification. So they worry about wasting their time. Those are the big ones.
Veruca from Willy Wonka. Hey, Mike TV. See Mike TV back there? Yeah. So Veruca, I want it, Daddy.
Golden Goose.
I want it now. Right.
Yeah.
You see what happened to her ass, right?
I know.
Okay. So there you go. Don't be Veruca.
Nope.
Right? So, oh my goodness. Okay. So timing, storyboarding, planning. If a person wants to, where do they go? Can we get this from you? Say, I have an idea. I have a concept. I want someone to work with me up to the launch of it. Getting all the pieces in place. Now it's time to do this and do like Legos.
Totally.
Talk about that. What do people need to bring to the table to show you that they're ready? What do they need?
Yeah, they need to have that's right. They need to have excitement, first of all, like passion for it. They need to have a really good idea, a specific idea about who this is for. Like I said, whose problem are you solving? Why are you doing this? You need to have that why. That's really big. And from there, we can build it. We can map it all out. But you just need those essential things, the why, the pain point, and the enthusiasm, and I will carry you the rest of the way. So it's
okay. So what is it you love? What's in it for you? You know, why do you do this? Why do you love it so?
Yeah, I'm one of those people where I love looking at the forest, all the pieces, right? And I love planning the path forward. I once had a human design person tell me that I'm a projector, and that's someone who is a leader, a guide, a coach, and they can kind of what I talked about. They can look at everything and find the path where other people are get lost in the process. But I was like, I know exactly what you need to do, and I just lead them there. And ever since I've heard that, I was like, that is so true because I felt that way as a teacher. I was kind of the lead teacher and guiding all the teachers and students. And now in my coaching, I'm like, this makes sense. People were coming to me for this. And I was like, I feel like that it just aligns all together. And it just, I get excited about it. So
I do too. Ring the bell. Okay. Now we have to do an unexpected turn for just a couple minutes
Yep.
out of respect. I'm a veteran and I have a huge, stronghold of divine friends in my life who have also served in the military. And so I just want to say today is 9/11. And my goodness, 2001, 23 years ago. And still today, this world, there's still, this is why we do what we do. Because proof that if we don't, what can swallow everything up, So I'm not to be Debbie Downer, but sometimes you're here today, Rayna, because you're supposed to be here today for this. And just like all of you out there. And right now I'm looking at 861 of you out there that I can see the number for. And there are far more than that out there. So let's find out why we were chosen to be here today. Let's take just a second, a moment or two, just to remember.
Not answering their phone. Our number 1 has been staffed, and our 5 has been staffed.
Dan Whitaker from Washington. I am in a situation where the American is under possible hijack.
What's going on, Betty? The crap is erratic again. The problem's very erratic. Betty, talk to me. Betty, are you there? Betty? Betty?
A plane just hit the World Trade Center.
What?
The 737.
What?
Like the World Trade
Who are you
Center.
talking to?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
United 175, New York. We have some problems over here right now. We might have a hijack over here, 2 of them.
Jules, this is Ryan. Was on an airplane that's been hijacked.
So I just wanted to take a moment. It doesn't take much of that day to just seriously, everybody. We do these shows and you hear the theme song, Show Me Your Soul. And this is why I don't want us to ever forget, get so busy about dollars and sales and things that we forget the sacrifice that people have to make to keep us safe. Everybody watched that debate last night, and if anybody's thinking that that it's not important to vote, it's not important to speak up, it's not important to stand up, then you're wrong. You're sadly mistaken. This world, if we don't keep fighting on a 24/7 basis, it will get a lot worse before it has any shot of getting any better. So that is why we do what we do, and we do it that way. We take a moment when we need to, all bullshit aside, and just say what needs to be said so we can get back to business as usual. But take a moment today and every day if you can, and just remember the people that have literally sacrificed their lives, and we're still here. So do something with it. Okay. All right. Back to the show. Thank you for that, Rayna. Thank you. So now that we've been there, let's talk about the time capsule piece, which is intellectual content. And how also, do you ever hear people that come that work with you or in passing in your all the different places this work takes you that talk about how they're preserving something? A lot of people think that podcasters are just out there just because they want to be seen or talk, but some people are really leaving a footprint, an imprint, a story, something more than just a hobby. Talk about that if you could. I know, because I know you love this world of podcasting. I can tell.
I do.
So what is that I'm trying to describe and not doing such a good job at?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I think a lot of people who dive into podcasting, similar to what you're saying, they want to start a legacy. They are building something that's bigger than the podcast, that's bigger than they're building. There's some sort of purpose that is driving them every day. And the podcast is one part of it. And what's nice is the podcast will keep it alive, just like a YouTube channel. But it's one part of the piece towards, like you said, this problem they're trying to solve, this way they're trying to change the world for the better and help. And I see
Yeah.
that in each of my clients.
Awesome. Awesome. So what's the process? We've got your and it is time. Let me just start getting this out here. Hold on.
Yep.
Let's go to this one. Ladies first. So why does it say ladies first? Are you you only work with women?
Yeah, no, I definitely work with men too. And I'm not a man hater, but however, I feel like women, we've been second-class citizens for a long time. We still carry a lot of burden in society in terms of invisible labor. I mean, we're still not paid equally, all that. I could go on and on.
Okay, and it's real. Don't bite
Yeah,
your
it's
tongue on
totally
the
real.
truth, right?
And
okay.
but if I can help elevate women digitally to be seen and heard, that's definitely part of my mission. That's part of my purpose, because I have felt unseen as a woman, as a mother, and I'm a white woman, so I know it's worse if you're a woman of color. And there's so many more obstacles. So that's just something I'm passionate about. But if you are a man, I will happily work with you too.
I will say this. No, I'm not correcting, but I will say this. As a person of color, and this is mainly for us of color.
Yeah.
It's not that it's worse. It's just different. It's just different. You know what I mean? The situation different. Even when we see those clear and obvious slants and this and the other, it's just different. Everything, because we've all been assigned specific roles in the intricate tapestry of this world. You see what I mean? So it's just different. Mm-hmm. And I love that, because now just that acceptance makes us all more similar. Because we have one thing in common. We're all different.
Yeah. Yep.
See what I'm saying? That's right. So I just love it. So what's the first thing? They get over there. I don't know what's there waiting. Sure. What should they look into? What doors do they open when they get to your website to get to you to talk? Get to hear
right when you get on my website. You can obviously read about me. Check out. I have a lot of great client testimonials, but you can book a discovery call right on the website. So if you want to meet with me, talk about some podcast ideas, go ahead and do that. I'm available. I'm not. You're going to meet with me too, not like a VA or anyone else. Like, I like to be the one to meet with people. So I'm really ready there to dig in and help you out. Also, I've got a great podcast called Podcast Growth Club. And so if you're interested in anything in the podcasting world, check out Podcast Growth Club. Okay. Episode 1 is really good too. That's a fan favorite about the 4 zones of podcasting success.
A fan favorite. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's ready for a show, right? I'm glad I put it out on Front Street. See, I ain't scared. Well, because when I get a download and I see it, I know first of all, we know we can't unsee it. True. So you just I run with it. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing. Yes. You're going to be a very happy girl soon. Happier. Because you're already happy. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, more. We want more, and we want more people like you. Okay. So listen, I just want to say to anyone out there that is on the fence, come on. Can it get any more inviting than what is right here? Get over and check her out and take us back down. Now, when did you have your first podcast?
I started
during COVID.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I started in the podcast world during COVID, and then I started my own podcast in 2022. So shortly after. So
you had to go and get all that new stuff, like a microphone and all. So how much did you have to throw out there that first run, to just get started? So you can say, here's episode number 1. Did you have $1,000? Did you have $500? What did you have? It wasn't that much, actually. I mean, the equipment and the technology has gotten so much better. I mean, you could get a good quality mic for $100. There's great recording programs like Riverside, where especially if you have interviews, you do guests and they don't have a mic, you can still make them sound really good. And that's like $15 a month. So it's very affordable. You don't need like a studio like you did in the old days. I would say it's accessible to everybody. You could get a good podcast equipment for under $200,
and all the, equipment, things to help it run for, I would say $150 a month, maybe even more.
How do certain podcasts end up winning awards
Yeah.
or getting on charts? Talk about that. Podcasts that land on charts.
Okay. Charts is based off of the number of downloads. So the more people that listen to your show, the higher you're going to be on the charts. So that's how that works. The podcast awards, that's a mix of popularity, marketing by the podcast, and then also their team submitting clips to be evaluated by judges. So, there's probably a lot of really great podcasts out there that aren't getting awards because they don't have a team to submit their great work for these awards. But there's little nuggets of gold everywhere. I mean, I sample.
What are those people called that do that for people? That get them on those. What are those? What would somebody Google?
Yeah, I would say it would be a podcast marketer. You could find someone who specifies in that. I mean, there's people who just specialize in helping people get on podcasts. So podcast PR. There's all these little niches now.
Do y'all have podcast people events? You know what I mean? Like you're there and the podcast is you do?
Yeah, I'm doing a podcasting for business conference in mid-November. That's going to be really fun. But there's Podfest is big. That's in Orlando this year in January. There's Pod Meetup. Was that what it was? There's one in DC just a couple weeks ago. So there's all these little pod conferences around the world.
Pod people. Oh, that'd be a good T-shirt.
Yeah, I like that.
About the conferences. Are you a pod person?
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a pod people.
I'm a pod people.
Well, but what I'm getting at is it like in high school, like, the band people is a culture?
Yeah, there's definitely a culture. And there's like the famous people, the famous podcasters are there, or the famous networks. So there's lots of cliques, not in a mean way, but just, people have got their fan bases.
A hierarchy.
Exactly.
In the kingdom of pod people. Oh, that's so exciting. So do you speak at conferences a lot?
I'm just starting to get into that, actually. I hadn't before because I was doing more of the producing, but now that I'm a coach, like this weekend, I'm diving more actually into the digital ones. I'm doing an introvert marketing conference and I'm speaking as a podcast expert. And then, like I said, there's the podcasting for business conference. I'm doing a couple little sessions there. So there's a lot of opportunity.
I can see you doing panels, moderating panels and stuff. And there's all kinds of stuff for you. I'm going to tell you this too. I'm prophesying again. Also, red carpet events. I see you on red carpet events with that microphone and stuff. Yeah, I do. Keep that in your pocket.
I will.
Okay, because then the opportunity stand right in front of you. You're going to say, this is what Dr. Lowe was talking about.
I know. Tell me about this.
Girl, you better Google me. Ask Lulu Lee about that billboard prediction in Times Square on Monday and Friday. That Friday night, she was standing in Times Square, and it wasn't one of those you pay for. She got paid for it.
Oh my God, fabulous!
Yeah. So I'm telling you what, when those videos, yes, I just love you. Hang out backstage. I want to say goodbye to you properly. It won't take but a minute, Rayna. And I just want to say to you all, man, our time flew by, but that's a great sign, right? That's called flow. And when we come together, two or more, it's a beautiful thing, you guys, because it's like a universal spigot a faucet that just opens up and pours out, because two or more of us is a magic equation. It will always bring spiritual magic into play. So get out there today, find just a little higher piece of yourself and combine it like clay to what you already are. Take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, bold to bolder. But my personal favorite, kind to kinder. Right? These are tough times, but we're tougher than the times. Listen, get out of here. Don't let my screen door slam on the way out. I promise, God willing, to meet you tomorrow morning. Oh, but it'll be in a pre-recorded. It'll be a rerun tomorrow and also Friday, but it's great content. They pick from our best episodes, and they're all the best, but fan favorites, to quote our guest today. And so I will be heading off to Kansas City to speak at the BTYB event down there, and I will be back live, God willing, Monday morning, and we'll do this all over again. I love you guys, and I say that every day, and guess what? It's still true. Not a damn thing you can do about it. Okay, get out of here, Miss Rayna. Great job. Thank you so much for all you do.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Loren. Appreciate you.
Have the best weekend ever. Bye, you guys. See you soon. Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you